welcome to Trashy Trashy, where we take a dumpster dive on this week's garbage people and a look at all the trashiest news stories. My name is Erica, and I am your host.
And my name is Cassandra, and I'm your other host. Hi there. What's up?
Hi. How are you?
Oh my gosh, so much better. Last week, not so good.
No, what was going on? What was shaking?
Well, we didn't put out an episode.
Yeah,
And
that was bad.
Yeah, it was bad. But so someone quit at my job, and it immediately doubled my amount of work. And I also had a wedding over the weekend. So then I had to account for a day I was going to miss. So my work was tripled. Anyways, I had a breakdown a little bit. It's just a itty bitty one. Couldn't stand the pressure. And we didn't record. So I'm sorry, listeners.
Yep.
I'm a fucking human.
We got your emails, we got your text, we got your social media outcry. Thank you. We're human. We didn't put out an episode.
Sometimes it happens, you know? We don't like it. We don't like it when it's going to happen, but it happened.
It happens. I had to go into the office with my new bosses.
Ooh.
So I had to put on the I'm not a garbage person mask.
How?
For 2 days. Well, it eroded at dinner one night. You put a cocktail in me and it was suddenly oh, Erica's doing her I'm at dinner shtick. And it lowered the veil. And I was like, oh yeah, I am garbage and I am on, I'm on right now. And they're seeing me for who I am.
Mm. You had dinner with them?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes, on the company's dime, which was sweet.
Good.
Yes. I was like, should we share an app? And they're like, everybody gets an app. And I was like, oh, okay.
Love it. What app did you get?
Oh, every app on the menu.
I love that. That's fun.
Yeah. It was wonderful. I had the best Brussels sprouts I've ever had.
Something that only people in their 30s say when they go to a restaurant.
100%. If you would have tried to convince me in my teens and 20s, you'll love Brussels sprouts one day, I would have been like, you're a goddamn fool. That's because I'd never had a Brussels sprout until I was probably 30.
Yeah. I mean, they're good. I threw down last night and made some killer Brussels sprouts. They're good. They're really, really fucking good.
They're just, it was like the TV comedy joke, insert a joke about a vegetable. It was Brussels sprouts.
Yep. And meatloaf.
I still don't there's a stigma around meatloaf for me mentally, where I still don't like it because of television comedy writers.
Yeah. It's, I kind of feel the same way, but I'm like, there's no reason not to like it. But then I'm like, wait, so the whole outside is ketchup? Yeah, I don't know. It's a little bit, I'm not totally sold on meatloaf yet, but Brussels sprouts are very good.
You should have some Winston Carter meatloaf because he does make a damn good meatloaf.
I fucking bet he does.
Yeah, he makes anything he puts his mind to. He makes a pretty good one.
That's good. I like that for him.
Yeah, he makes a pretty good one. How have you been trash this week?
So this episode is coming out after my Friendsgiving that's happening this weekend. No offense. You're my friend too. It's a tighter group. You understand?
No offense taken. No offense taken.
I don't know why I have moments where I'm like,
I have my own friends.
I shouldn't be telling my friends about this Friendsgiving because
no, it's fine. I had plans. I'm busy anyway, so don't worry about it.
I really need to just change the branding of it because it's the girls that I lived with in Echo Park. Shout out Ashley Reardon and then my old roommate Noelle and then their significant others. So it's a 308 gathering that I don't need to fucking explain myself. Anyways, so I'm making everyone gifts. I've already made them. I bought a clear pack of ornaments from Michael's, some glitter, some craft glue, and then I printed out on printer paper a bunch of pictures because I saw on YouTube that you can basically like make your own ornament with a picture in it with these tools. And it is true. I have been able to do that, and they would be really cute, except I can't get the fucking picture straight on any of them. Like, I can't center the picture.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I eventually just resigned myself to like, okay, well, the pictures are just going to be kind of crooked, and it's just going to like look like a kid made it, and it'll be kind of charming because a kid didn't make it. But why do I think that's fucking charming? Like, why do I think that I deserve the free pass of doing a bad job because it's me? I'm a 31-year-old woman. I should be able to get that picture on fucking straight. But
it's
instead,
artistic.
I'm giving them children's crafts.
Listen,
So.
Mormon mommy bloggers have held us up to this perception of perfection that is unachievable, and we don't have to hold ourselves to that. I think that the ornaments are going to be just beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, it's frustrating because I'm like, is this better or should I keep trying? I mean, I have 4 ornaments in my trash right now with a picture of Ashley and TJ's wedding photo. Like, because I fucked it up so hard. I was like, I just need to get this one right. The one that I have finally settled on is centered, but a little crooked.
Okay, well, speaking of centered, but a little crooked, I had a run-in with the Mixtiles, which so Mixtiles is a company that will print your photos, and then they have an adhesive strip on the back of them, but they're like a thick matting, like it's like printed on the front, a 2-inch thick, device, and then they'll stick to your walls like a foam.
Yeah.
So I order a bunch of photos of me and Winston. And they cut off my face like halfway in the face of me.
What?
Yeah. And I was like, that's not what I ordered. And that's not how I centered it when I ordered them. And so they immediately were like, we're so sorry. We'll correct the ones we messed up. And here's an extra one on us. So Mixtiles customer service, not trashy.
Hey, there you go.
I'm working on getting us a promo code to work with them because they were so prompt. But guess what? I got 5 Mixtiles of mostly Winston's face that I'm going to be gifting out this holiday season to people.
Oh, right. Because you're giving people pictures of you guys for Christmas this year.
For Christmas.
I love it.
Yeah.
Anyways, I guess that's why I'm trash, is that I'm passing off the work of a 6-year-old and hoping that my friends find it charming.
They will. It's the effort that counts.
Why are you trash?
Well, I am the type of creature that I need to, if someone's laying on the couch, I want to crawl all over them. And by someone, I mean Winston, my partner.
Yeah, of course. I hope.
I just want to crawl all over him and be like, look at me. I'm so little.
Yes.
I'm so tiny. I'm like one of the cats. I'm just going to lay on top of you.
Sure.
Which drives him absolutely crazy. And not in like the fun, crazy way. In the like, please get off of me. I'm barely tolerating this way.
No.
And so I have had some light, like, like phlegm in my throat.
Mm-hmm.
So I crawl up there and I'm being all cute. And then I'm like, kiss me. And he's like, okay. And he will. And then I immediately like hawk a loogie from inside my throat immediately after he's kissed me. And he's like, okay, nope, deal's breaking. Get off of me. Nope, this is done. And I was like, you know what? On that one, that's fair. That's good. Yeah, that's the appropriate call.
You're like one of those dogs that like sneezes on people after they cuddle.
Yeah. I was like, you couldn't have waited 30 seconds. You had to clear your throat immediately.
Aww.
So poor Winston tolerates me.
That's all right.
Yeah.
You know, what can you do? I don't do this anymore, but I used to do this kind of toxic manipulative thing because I also like to crawl on significant others. But see, before when they didn't want me on top of them, I took it personally. Before therapy, I say. And I used to be like, well, you know, the day that I stop doing this, you'll know that I don't love you anymore.
Okay.
I do not talk this way to people anymore. Therapy is really important. Oh, goodness.
Goodness gracious. Let's get into our first story from thecomplex.com.
Footage shows small dong march in LA, comprised of people standing up for smaller penises.
TMZ, the trashiest news source,
Truly,
reports a large group of people gathered in Los Angeles to end the shame associated with having a small penis.
Small Dong March was organized by Chad and JT of YouTube fame. You know, I was thinking about this, that like, where are the good Chads out there? Because there's got to be like good women named Karen out there who just are getting fucked. And when I think of the, like, Chad is the Brussels sprout kind of equivalent of like, that's been built out to be such a douchey name that like, imagine, I just think about like actual like decent human beings who happen to be named Chad and how they get fucked over by this Chad of YouTube fame.
I can't name a single Chad, like a good Chad.
Chad Michael Murray?
Who's that?
Oh, God. Erica.
He's an actor?
Yes, he is. Ugh. Hello, the Cinderella story with Hilary Duff, the romantic lead. He was on One Tree Hill. Chad Michael Murray. That was back when like the hottest guys had 3 names. Chad Michael Murray.
That's true. There was a theme of 3 named gentlemen. Also, you know the reason why serial killers always have 3 names?
Why?
It's so that like they give them the 3 names so that every like Chad Smith doesn't get like associated with that name. Like they add the middle name to give them a distinctive.
Oh, that's nice of them. That because that could be bad.
Yeah. It's to add like, oh, this is why. John Wayne Gacy, so that every John Gacy doesn't get, oh, are you the serial killer? And it's like,
I mean, I'm sure that they do anyways, but you know.
I'm sure they do, yeah.
I waited on Chad Michael Murray once and some lady when I worked at PF Chang's, and he was actually I got to the table and it was probably the most starstruck I've ever been. Like I've waited on and been around huge celebrities, but there was something about him, and like he knew it. He looked at me, I looked at him, we looked at each other. He could tell that I was probably in the age range for someone to like freak the fuck out for him. So he was very, very nice, but I was literally like, hello, is something to drink? I was not good.
Yeah. And he's like, you've already taken our drink order 3 times.
Like, and he like arguably not famous anymore. Like he was kind of a blip in time. He didn't have to, unless I'm wrong, but I don't know what he's up to these days. If you just Google him, like it's like One Tree Hill, Cinderella Story, House of Wax, Gilmore Girls. Like that's a fucking long time ago. But he just, special place in my heart. What are we talking about? Oh, we're talking about these small dick march. Okay, sorry, I'm so sorry.
You should watch Chad and JT. Like they do really funny stuff. They'll go to like city council meetings and you know, speak about ridiculous things in like very sincere ways. Like they're very funny. So I can't tell if they're being sincere about their small dong shame or if they were trying to actually shame people with small dongs in their march. So, but they're very funny.
You mean like shame them out of irony because they're trying to stand up for small penises?
I know, but I can't tell if they're doing it as like a bit or if they're like, yo, this is what we're working with. And like no one should feel shame about their genitalia.
No.
No one should feel shame. I hope that they're doing it in sincerity and not as a bit.
I'm going to just say this. I do think that this is stupid.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say it. Okay. I'm just going to fucking say it. I think. Did you see there was a documentary that came out? Let me look it up. Documentary about small penis guy. Unhung Hero. It came out in 2013. And this guy made a documentary about his small penis because he asked his girlfriend to marry him at like a sports game and she said no. So like it was like very televised and all this shit. And he was like, it was like in the earlier days of YouTube. So it went very viral of him getting turned down. And then the next day he asked her, why did you say no? And she said, I just don't think I can be with someone who has as small of a dick as you for the rest of my life. This is all from his perspective. And so he travels the world to research small dick stuff and find body acceptance and all these kinds of things. It's like the most masturbatory thing I've ever seen. It's not great. And so that's what comes to my mind when I see this. I'm like, oh God, here goes men talking about their small dicks again. Like,
right.
Just be a good person. Be a good person and make it work. And no one cares.
Right. No one cares. There's other ways.
Yes, there's other ways. We don't need to get into them, but there's other ways.
There's other ways.
You know?
Speaking of other ways, let's get into our second story from the dailymail.co/UK. They called it a visiting fee. Georgia woman who was billed almost $700 for trip to ER says she didn't even see a doctor and left after waiting for 7 hours.
They called it a visiting fee. So this woman, Taylor Davis, had a head injury, went to the hospital and just chilled for 7 hours and then left. And she got a bill for $688.35.
Even though she never even got to see a doctor.
She said that they didn't even take her vitals or anything. Like, no, her name wasn't called at all.
So, have I told the story of being bitten by a snake on this podcast?
No.
Okay.
Seems on brand, but no.
Very on brand. I was working a summer camp, and if I have, forgive me, I'm going to tell it again. Growing up, we always got the best hospital care at the county hospital. And... Wow. Yeah, like private rooms, round the clock care. Like I was like, oh wow, like this hospital's just really good. Turns out there was a board member whose last name was Curry, and they thought we were of the Currys.
Oh, my
so we got like special treatment. So I'm used to like going right into the emergency room, go, like whatever it is, like going right in. And so I was bitten by a copperhead snake while working a camp in college. Mm-hmm. And I didn't see it because it was dark, but I was like, oh shit, I was bitten by something. And so I was filthy from head to toe, just covered in dirt. I'm working like an outdoor camp. And I arrive at the ER and they put me in a wheelchair because I can't stand and I can barely sit.
Jeez Louise.
I was in so much pain. I was miserable. My leg is swelling and I'm sitting there and I'm waiting and a little kid comes in, gets checked in and immediately gets walking back, like taken back.
Uh-huh.
And that, my dear, I could not stand. So I wheel myself up like urgently to the counter and I was like, excuse me, I have been waiting. Like I have been bitten. I have been waiting and I just saw somebody go right into the ER. What is going on? And they were like, you know, we're triaging, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, well, listen, when my mother, Tina Curry, finds out about this, she's not going to be very happy. And then I just wheeled myself back to where I was sitting previously. And I was the next person called in. My mother's just a public school teacher. This was like 3.5 hours away from my hometown.
But I think say your mom's full name.
The power of that name.
Tina Curry.
The power of that name. And the way I said it made it sound like she was like someone.
Wow.
Yeah. And anyway, I got, you know, anti-venom. It was a whole nightmare. It was a nightmare.
Did you hallucinate?
Probably. They put me on morphine. Like,
jeez Louise.
It's miserable. If you can help it, never get bitten by a venomous snake.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. We're lucky to have you.
Anyway, very lucky to have me. I'm a treat.
I agree.
So when this woman received her bill, she called the hospital, and the employee said it's hospital protocol, even if you're just walking in and you're not seen. When you type in social, that's it. You're going to get charged regardless. When you type in your social security number, you're going to get charged regardless. That is absolute bullshit.
Yeah, that's fucked up. I mean, apparently now, like, the hospital's looking into it or whatever, because obviously this is going viral and then they have to. Mm-hmm. But I wonder how many times this happens to people. And they start talking about people who were sharing their COVID bills online. There was one of this person who had a 4-month stay in an American hospital for COVID-19, and the itemized list of charges ended up totaling more than $2.85 million for 4 months in a hospital. That's fucking crazy.
It's insane. I've seen where like a Tylenol was listed out as like $258. You know, like when they have to itemize, like when you ask for an itemized hospital bill.
Yeah.
They just have to justify like why it costs that much.
It's one of those things. I have health insurance now, like, thank goodness, like, so grateful for that. But there was a long time where I didn't. And I think my biggest fear while I didn't have health insurance was that my appendix was going to blow up. Because there was like, I've seen a lot of people online who are uninsured because health insurance is fucking expensive. The only reason I have it is because of my job. And like having your appendix explode, which is at no fault of your own, it just happens, is like life ruining because of the amount of money it costs.
Yeah, 100%.
It's fucked up. This is fucked up.
Yeah. The American system of having your health insurance tied to employment is ludicrous.
Especially since so many employers don't offer anything. Or they make their requirements to get it like really, really hard. Like restaurants and businesses like that, you know, like big restaurants. I'm talking the P.F. Chang's of the world, where like the only people who get it are there people who are considered full-time employees. And as soon as you fall under the required amount of hours, they'll take it away. Which is so like no server at your local P.F. Chang's has health insurance through P.F. Chang's.
Right. Speaking of money and all of that, let's get into our next story from MSN.com. Lawyer, 41, who sued his parents to pay him $500 a week, loses appeal.
An unemployed lawyer who has had his lavish lifestyle entirely funded by his wealthy parents for years has lost a court bid to force his mother and father to continue to pay him maintenance.
The plaintiff, 41, claimed his parents are violating his human rights after they stopped paying for his life in London after he went years without a job.
Guess he wasn't that good of a lawyer.
I guess not.
So he previously practiced laws. Oh, he graduated from Oxford University, and then the last time he worked was in 2011, practicing law at prestigious firms, and then working as a tax advisor and, you know, all kinds of lawyer shit. But then he became unemployed, and entirely dependent on handouts from his parents, who are 69 and 71 years old living in Dubai.
These payments amounted to around $2,500 US a month, while the 41-year-old lives in a rent-free $1 million apartment in central London.
So his parents cut him off and sued his parents to try to get money back because he got used to this lifestyle and said that they're basically abandoning their child, which is so stupid because he claimed that he was vulnerable due to health issues, but like basically every judge who got this was like, bro, you're a 40-year-old man. You don't have legs to stand on. Like you're as if you're like he was citing court cases that had to do with like legitimate, like full-blown kids.
Right. Like his barrister, Hugh Southey QC, such an English name.
I love it.
Argued that there was a law enacted in 1989 called the Children's Act that he was able to apply for this maintenance because he is a vulnerable adult due to health issues.
Yeah, like, sorry, bro. So he lost. That's that. His parents are bummed out that they have to deal with this in the first place. And they also cited another unsuccessful lawsuit this guy tried to do. He tried to sue Oxford University, where he went to college, because he claims that he was prevented from achieving top honors because of inadequate teachings, and that's what's costing him having a lucrative lawyer career. So this guy is a clown.
This is straight up clownery. Like, straight up clownery.
Looking out everywhere but within to find his problems.
It's like that Simpsons meme where it's like, no, it's everyone else that's wrong.
Yeah, exactly. That's this guy's deal. Good luck.
Yeah. Good luck.
Speaking of bad luck, maybe?
Bad luck. According to the NewYorkPost.com,
a healthcare worker in the UK has confessed to using a dead patient's debit card to buy snacks from the vending machine, including just 17 minutes after the victim died. This is a 23-year-old.
She appeared in Birmingham court Wednesday on charges that she swiped the 83-year-old woman's card at Heartlands Hospital in the city, a news outlet reported.
So the doctors recorded the lady's time of death at 1:56 p.m. on January 24th, but 17 minutes later, purchases were made on her cards at the vending machine. She had made 6 purchases using a contactless payment option, and then made one more later in the evening.
She then tried again 4 days later, but that time the card had already been canceled, the outlet reported. What a piece of shit. Like,
yeah, like... Here's the thing. Is crime worth doing with credit cards anymore? Like it feels so easily traceable at this point, and like it's so short-lived. If you get someone's credit card, like as if they're not going to cancel it right away.
Right.
But I guess the justification in your head is, let me use it as much as I can before they cancel it. But like, fine. But not a dead lady. I don't know.
Yeah, not a dead. It just gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Yeah, it's a vibe. And credit card companies are so savage that, like, luckily, like this, she didn't make like huge purchases because they probably would have just went after this lady's family or some shit.
Right. They're literally vultures and will come after you. Be careful with credit cards.
Yeah.
They offer you 100,000 miles, but they want you to go into debt. Like, people that game the system are few and far between, and credit cards hate you if you pay off your debt every month.
Did you see that Explained episode on Netflix? They did have you heard of Explained on Netflix?
Yes.
Yes. Awesome. And they have one specifically, like a 4-parter about money. And one of them was about credit cards. Very interesting. Go check that out if you haven't seen it yet.
Yes.
I watched it twice.
It's very good.
So this girl claimed that she found the card on the floor and then got it confused with her card. But then the police... What?
Oh, I got it confused. Oh, I take back everything I've ever said about this woman.
Right. But then the police were like, girl, that card is a different color than your card. So, well. I hope that whatever you got from the vending machine was worth it.
I have recently gotten into credit card gaming with, I have like a spreadsheet that's like, okay, this credit card gives me 3 points at gas stations and this credit card gets me 5 points at grocery stores. So, and but I pay them off. I'm not going to get into trouble.
My partner has his credit card all figured out, and it has been really, really great, the benefits that we get for flying. Me, not so much. Me, I'm just trying to pay off my credit cards and stop using them.
Yeah.
Because I've tried to game it, and then I'm like, I'm not good at this game.
It's a tricky fucking game.
But know yourself. Don't.
Yeah.
As soon as you figure, like me, as soon as I figured out I was bad at the game, I stopped trying to play the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's an expensive game to lose.
It's a very expensive game to lose. Speaking of losers.
Nice. That's what I was hoping you would say.
Let's get into our next story from thedailydot.com.
A trick-or-treater's dad forces her to take tons of candy from a free-for-all bowl.
While trick-or-treating from an unattended candy bowl, a young girl took just a few candies, only to be stopped by someone who appears to be her parent. The parent then proceeds to dump a sizable portion of the bowl into her bag, an act that caused an outrage when the Ring doorbell video was posted to TikTok.
This is crazy. It's like they recount, and you can see in the video this little girl telling her dad, we need to leave some for other people.
Yeah, the dad goes, did you just take everything that was in there? And she goes, I just took a little bit because the trick-or-treaters need some.
And then the father pours the bowl, says, leave some for the trick-or-treaters, please.
Please. I mean, like, it sucks when you have to parent your parents.
Doesn't it? Yeah, it's weird. And the comments are mixed. I mean, they're not mixed. Most people are like, man, this is fucked up. Like this daughter is more mature and knows the empty candy rules better than the dad does. But then some people saw it in a way that I actually didn't think of until it was put in the comments, where people were like, the guy just wanted to go home. Like, he just wants to go home. And so you put enough candy in their bag and then it's time to go home. And I'm like, oh. So it's either that this guy is like a dirtbag because he wants to take all the candy, or he's a dirtbag because he doesn't want to trick or treat anymore. I shouldn't call it. You're not a dirtbag if you don't want to trick or treat. I've never done it with a kid. It probably fucking sucks.
It's honestly the only thing that's ever made me want to have children was taking the little girl I used to nanny trick or treating 2 years in a row. It was
cute.
The most magical outing in, like, watching her light up, get in her costume, get so excited, navigating trick-or-treating. It was the best. It was the absolute best.
Oh my God. Okay, well then I take it back. He was a dirtbag.
Yeah. It's so cute. Like, she was scared at first and she wouldn't say, trick or treat. And we were going up to like little ladies' houses. And then we walk up to this guy and he's got like tattoos. He's roided up, wearing like a muscle t-shirt, bald head. And she, for the first time, goes, trick or treat. And I'm like, this is the guy? Like, this is who you open up to? Okay. We're going to be in trouble. Speaking of, we're going to be in trouble.
We got a Florida man for you.
We got a Florida man from WCTV.tv.
Whoa. Florida man uses finger guns to steal Waffle House napkins.
A Madison County Waffle House employee called 911 Monday night to report an attempted robbery. The suspect was unarmed and simply left after grabbing some napkins, according to the Madison County Sheriff's Office.
This guy entered the Waffle House wearing a gray hoodie, dark jeans, dark hat with dark hair, and he was reportedly accompanied by a small dog, who I imagine probably just took a shit outside and he really needed napkins to clean it up. So maybe that was what was happening.
Honestly, this guy's a hero for cleaning up his dog's shit.
You know?
So the gentleman, identified as Edward William Rodriguez, began by shouting, "Get on the ground! Y'all are getting robbed," according to the report.
He then stated to everyone that he was high and drunk, and then grabbed some napkins and walked out. So, that's nice. I think I'd like to know that from the guy who's robbing me.
Yeah.
I'm really high and I'm really drunk. So, goodbye.
He got into a vehicle and left. He did not appear to have any weapons, but he did raise his hands with his finger shaped into the shape of a gun. Now, question for you, Cassandra.
What?
Did he do finger guns, or did he have improv training, and did he do the proper way to hold a gun in the scene? And did he wrap his hands into holding a gun like you would in an improv scene, or did he point his finger out like it was a gun itself?
Now, when we tell you that is Improv 101, it is Improv 101 that you learn that if you're going to have a gun in a scene, you have to mime having a gun in your hand and not do finger gun. It is the stupidest thing that every improv teacher, including myself, I'm not an improv teacher, but an improv enthusiast, it takes very seriously. And I'm going to tell you what, Erica, I think he went actual finger guns. I don't think he went improv gun.
Okay. I think it's important to note, like, the first rule of improv is yes and then the second rule of improv is, how do you hold a gun?
Because guns come up so frequently in improv scenes. I'm not even being like...
I'm not joking. Especially in Improv 101 and 201.
Although Erica and I were in a improv group together for a long time, and the whole deal was that by the end of every set, everyone needed to be dead. That was like our shtick, and it was really fun. So we had a lot of guns.
It was so fun. Oh, it was so fun. The most fun I've ever had on stage.
Truly. Just figuring out how we were all going to die.
My favorite character I ever played was Eddie the Big-Dicked Eagle.
I think we have a picture of that. Like, yeah.
And my mom was in the crowd and was like, "That's my baby playing a big dick eagle. I sent her to university and this is what she's doing with her life."
That's so funny.
Oh my God. Speaking of big dick, let's get into our next story.
That was perfect.
From www.thesun.com.
Oh, wow. You tossed in a www there.
I did. I love a www.
You're just like reading whatever's on the teleprompter kind of thing.
I am the Ron Burgundy of this podcast. I'll say that. If it's written down, I will read it.
Massive 100-foot penis-shaped rock in Utah snapped in hilarious pics. Now, it is important that we say snapped as in snapping a picture. The dick did not snap in half, because I was confused by that headline.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, rock on, rock hard. 29-year-old photographer from Philadelphia named Chris Henry stumbled upon the soaring, phallic-shaped rock in Arches National Park.
He snapped Mother Nature's dirty-minded marvel and sent it viral on Instagram. He was taking kind of like the same pictures that people take with like the Leaning Tower of Pisa and stuff.
He claimed he was the first to find the life-like rock he had encountered in the 6 years of chronicling epic landscapes.
My first reaction to seeing the rock was the love heart emojis in my brain.
I was driving along the side of the road and I looked over there and said, "That looks like a penis."
He seemed really excited about this rock.
Like a little too excited.
I mean, hey, whatever. I mean, it's made him go viral. And I guess he was like, he's already a photographer. So I would be excited too if my photography business was finally picking up because I found a dick-shaped rock.
Knowing that I'd struck gold in the hills of Utah, I hit the first pull-off and ran to the desert to photograph this triumphant being, he said.
I usually do epic photography, but I've never snapped anything of such sexually suggestive nature. It does look like a penis.
It will post it on our Instagram and Twitter, which is at Trashy Trashy Pod.
I mean, good for him, you know? And Utah, no less.
In Utah. Now, I'm going to call you out. I invited Cassandra. I found $100 round trip tickets to Salt Lake City. And I invited Cassandra on a trip to the Mecca of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. And she turned me down.
Okay. Well, in my defense, it's because at the time I thought I was going to have to go to a fucking wedding in Utah, which actually I found out like a week ago that we don't have to go to that wedding.
Oh.
So I don't know. I mean, Utah might be back on the table now.
Okay. Because are you current on Real Housewives of Salt Lake City?
I am not. You know what? I've only seen the first episode of the second season because me and my roommate used to watch it together all the time. And so I've been kind of waiting for her, but our schedules haven't been lining up. So I'm going to have a pretty old roommate. I mean, so I'm going to have a discussion with her this weekend at the Friendsgiving and be like, hey, what are we doing? Like, are you going to come over for a whole day, or like, do we need to start watching this separately? Because I need to know what's going on right now.
You got to catch up because the latest episode was the arrest of Jen Shah.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
They show the like, it was wild. It was riveting television. They show the women's reactions in real time. Like, they don't show her getting the cuffs put on because that wasn't captured on camera, but they show like everything they got.
Wow. That's exciting. Hey, what's your middle name?
Michelle.
Erica Michelle Curry. If you spoil another thing for me.
That's not news television. That we knew she was getting arrested.
If you spoil.
Okay. I'll take it. I'm sorry. I apologize. That's all I'll say.
All right. Cool. Thank you. All right. Our next story comes to us from brobible.com. Comedian explains, oh no, I'm yawning. Oh no.
That's your punishment.
Okay. Comedian explains how he tricked Vice into running a fake story about having his family jewels locked in a cage.
And Vice, full disclaimer, is a news source that we've quoted from many a times on this podcast.
Is it a joke website? Like, what are we finding out that Vice is a joke website or something? Like,
no, I think Vice is just kind of like tries to be edgy, but is like pretty garbage.
I mean, sure.
And they like try to be culturally relevant, but like, anyway.
I feel like it was because of the HBO show, because they had like this, it was like, ooh, we're counterculture punk rock news and we're on the streets of Baghdad asking the real questions. Like, we're like the Anthony Bourdain of news.
Yeah.
And here's our HBO show about it.
Yeah. They were like cool and cultural cachet and kind of like they criminally underpaid their employees. That was like a fact. Like I used to go to some Vice like sponsored events that were thrown in LA.
Uh-huh.
And I was like talking to employees because I wanted to work there because to me that was like the height of cool.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, the pay is shit. And I was like, oh, cool. And then there was like a story about how they pay their employees terribly. But at one point,
did they publish it?
Yeah. At one point, the company was valued at $5.7 billion in 2017.
That was at the height of that show, I bet.
Probably so. So Vice slowly transformed into a parody of itself, including a story that was published in January concerning a man who claimed that he had his family jewels held for ransom after hackers managed to command the Wi-Fi used to control a cage he'd locked them in.
So apparently this is a thing that can happen. You can have like a safe or something, and if it's connected to the internet, hackers can like not like they can lock it for real.
Mm-hmm.
But
it's like a kink.
What? Oh, is it? Remember when we did a story about the chastity belts?
Yeah.
And people getting hacked on their chastity belts.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is that, except that the story that Vice ran was fake. It was an Australian comedian named Lewis Spears who he did a whole video about how he was able to get Vice to just run with this like story that was fake. And then Vice is like, oops, sorry.
Oops. Yeah. And they updated the story with an article that said, "We regret the mistake."
Yeah, right.
Okay. You know? Okay.
Speaking of mistakes.
Oh, yeah?
This next story comes to us from Twitter. Ever heard of it?
Heard of it?
Sailor spelt his own name wrong in GCSE fraud. Now, do you know what GCSE is?
No, but it sounds like that's for the Google machine.
To the Google machine. General Certificate of Secondary Education.
So, a Royal Navy sailor who faked his General Certificate of Secondary Education certificates gets promoted, was caught after spelling his own name wrong.
Leading seaman Ian O'Mahony. It's hard to say that one without putting a little sauce on it, you know?
You got to add a little salt and pepper and a little sauce to that one.
Ian O'Mahony applied for the rank of petty officer after claiming that he received B and C grades in his English. It's GCSE. We all know what that is. We're just going to call it college. In his college exams, but he was ineligible for a promotion as he, in fact, scored 2 D grades. O'Mahony,
who is 33, forged AQA exam board certificates, but misspelt his own name as O'Mahony, and he admitted his fraud in Bulford Military Court in Wilts.
Can I just say that to me, as someone, my last name is Cardenas, spelled Cardenes, and the most common spelling of my last name is Cardenas, Cardenas. So, to me, having the names misspelled seems more believable that it's real than if it was spelled right.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Because I'm used to people spelling my name wrong all the time that I'm like, yeah. Oh, they just messed up? Okay, no big deal. Like I have trophies. Yeah. I've had trophies that have my name wrong. Because I won trophies in high school, Erica.
Fucking trophies, okay? Get used to it, listeners. Trophies.
Yeah. Award-winning Cassandra Cardenas.
Award-winning. Deal with it.
So O'Mahony, who is head of catering on board the HMS Brocklesby, was handed 120 days of detention and suspended for 6 months.
Don't be trashy. Don't misspell your own name. Don't fake.
That explains the 2 D's he got in English, I guess.
Boom. I wish I had a sound effect for that.
Well, do you have a sound effect for anything right now? Because sometimes you have them. Where'd your board go?
I can't access the board the way it's set up right now. But if I did, I would do the like the DJ like record scratch.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I mean, having you do it with your mouth is just as good.
No, it's not. And I apologize to the listeners. Hey, Cass, are you ready?
Oh, I'm ready.
It's time for the dumpster fire of the week.
Zoom, zoom.
According to the BBC.com, the LA Jetpack Man was probably just a balloon.
Okay, now, what? Because you seem to have heard of this. I had not.
Oh, yeah. So there have been several spottings of someone in a jetpack over LAX over the last year. Like, several pilots have reported seeing someone. It's been all over the LA Times. I guess I read the news.
Hey, okay.
Just kidding.
Excuse me. the LA Times. I'm reading the New York Times. Okay. It's a little bit different and a little bit more reputable.
We're bi-coastal in this podcast family.
We really are. We really are.
So there's been the FAA launched an investigation into what several pilots spotted a guy in a jetpack at around 3,000 feet around LAX last year. But now officials say the pilots may have just seen inflatables.
So you said that this has been going on for like a year?
Yes.
How long do balloons last in the air?
I think it's a series of balloons
that all look like a guy with a jetpack?
I mean, that's what the FBI is saying, or this is a cover-up.
You know what? Honestly, I'm going with the latter because to me, in my America, the one I'm familiar with, is some clown a real life clown is running around in a jetpack over LAX and they can't he keeps coming back and they can't get him down or identify him. Like, wouldn't they just shoot it? I'm not saying that's right. I'm just saying it's America.
It's America. So, we shoot unidentified objects here.
Am I crazy? Like, why didn't you just shoot it? Like, and see what it is when it falls down?
Well, the police helicopter footage shows that apparently a Halloween decoration of a life-size Jack Skellington from the 1993 Tim Burton film The Nightmare Before Christmas, like a balloon launched up 3,000 feet, and that's what the pilots are seeing.
Can you even get as high as a plane in a jetpack? Maybe one that's landing, but like, what?
Well, they even reported seeing it at 6,000 feet, which is like about 7 miles northwest of LAX.
Holy shit. So there was one sighting in August, and then this is of last year, August, October, and July, that they keep seeing this shit of like pilots being like, we think there's someone in a jetpack.
Yeah.
That's fucking nuts.
So
shoot it.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm being crazy. Get your skeet guns and call SEAL Team Boomer that my mom is on now.
Yeah.
And call them.
For those of you who are new to the podcast, Cassandra's mom is training to be a sharpshooter.
She's gotten into sniping. So, what are we doing? I don't understand. I don't understand why we don't have the technology to identify what this is immediately. And because we don't have that technology, I don't understand why we don't shoot it.
Yeah. So the FAA, which is the Federal Aviation Authority, have worked with the FBI to investigate this jetpack sightings, and none have been verified. So the working theory is that the pilots might have seen balloons.
This is crazy. Well, I guess we'll see as this story develops what's up. I was with shout out Ashley Reardon, and I was dropping her off at her apartment, and we saw a floating object above downtown Los Angeles. And I have a lot of friends who are like very interested in and convinced about the existence of aliens. Mm-hmm. And I'm not denying that aliens exist. How could they not? The galaxy is huge. But I'm not like necessarily on team like, hey, they've come here to make contact. Like in my head, aliens are just like us, just in a different place, you know? Mm-hmm. So I'm seeing this, we're looking at this thing floating above downtown Los Angeles, and I'm like, are you fucking shitting me? I'm seeing a UFO right now, and now I'm going to have to tell people that I saw one, and they're going to have to listen to me say this shit and question whether or not I'm being realistic. I'm like, gosh, I didn't ask for this. I don't want to see this fucking UFO. But here we are, and we keep driving towards it to identify it because we said, surely this could not just be a UFO. It is this thing that's just frozen in the air. We're like, is that at the top of a building? What is it? We get closer. We still can't figure it out. Finally, I text my partner because he loves planes, and I go, what the hell is floating over downtown LA right now? Use one of your Playboy apps and tell me. And he did. He used his Playboy app. Turns out a Goodyear blimp, but it just was hard to see from where we were. It was just a blimp. It was a blimp over the Staples Center. And I'm like, who's asking for that? Why is that still a thing?
Yeah.
Why do we still have blimps?
Yeah, we've evolved past blimps.
Like, Goodyear will sell their stock. They'll sell. I don't even know if that company's struggling, but I have a feeling that if they started to struggle, they'll do just about anything before they get rid of that damn blimp.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're the only people who have one. Who else has a blimp?
No,
they have that hot dog car.
Goodyear might have the corner on blimps.
Who has a blimp? Googling it. Goodyear. Goodyear. There we go.
There you go.
They just have blimps. Goodyear, and then all the other ones are like shit that you've never heard of.
Trying to chase that Goodyear fame.
Yeah. We should get Goodyear to sponsor us and see if we can get a blimp ride.
Oh my God, I would die. I would be so thrilled.
Like, I wouldn't want to. I'd be scared, but I would do it, just to say
100%. Yeah. Just to say I did it. Yeah.
Are you hoarding anything this week?
I am. Okay. I'm hoarding a new iPhone app and Android app called Pikmin Bloom. That's PIKMINBLOOM. And it is a cute app from my workplace, Niantic. And you grow flowers as you walk, and it rewards you with these cute little characters, and there's challenges, and you level up and you work with people to defeat mushrooms. It's just cute, and it rewards you for exploring the world and walking. And it's gotten me to be more active. I'm getting up in between commercials of shows and walking around just so I can level up. It's truly, it's really cute. I highly recommend you download it. You can read about it all over the internet, but it's, we're the people that make Pokemon Go. It's the same type of AR technology. You can put your Pikmin in the real world. It's really cute.
I was going to say, is it's like Pokemon Go where you have to physically go outside to play the game?
You can play it from your living room. You can walk around your house.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, I'm getting up in between commercial breaks of television shows.
How cute. I just downloaded it.
Yay. We can be friends and walk together and plant flowers. And yeah. Okay. Let me know what your username is and we'll connect. If any listeners download it, I'll connect with you and we can be, buddies together.
Should I make my username CC69 or something bad?
It's up to you.
I think I'm going to do. I'm going to do something just disgusting so that when you add me, you get mad. It's going to be bad for your job to have a friend with my.
Oh, what are you hoarding this week?
I'm hoarding flaky sea salt.
Ooh!
If you don't have some, you should get some. There's a couple companies that make it, but I'm talking those big flakes of salt. I mean, picture this: you're at home and you've just made yourself avocado toast.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go and you grab your normal salt grinder and crack on your shit. I guess. Or you go to your little box of flaky sea salt, grab a pinch of that and just on top. Your avocado toast is better. Picture this. Later that day, later that night, maybe, you're sitting there with your loved ones and you have a scoop of dark chocolate ice cream. And then you take a pinch of the flaky sea salt on top. And you go, I've earned this life. I deserve to be here. I am great. And then you fall asleep by the fire. That, my friends, is flaky sea salt.
I mean, sign me up. That sounds like a commercial.
Thank you. I think the one that I have is like Maldon. Yeah, it's just a box of salt, but it's like the big fucking flakes. Ooh, it's good. I've had it for a while, but I used some this morning on avocado toast, and I was like, I gotta hoard this.
Nice. Are you throwing anything away?
Yes. So I decided to turn on the Netflix documentary Unwell yesterday while I was working, just because I think this is like an older documentary, not that old, like maybe a year or two, whatever. Mm-hmm. So I get to an episode where it's about adults drinking breast milk because they believe that there's health benefits to it. A lot of times it's like bodybuilders will drink breast milk in order to bulk up. Mm-hmm. Here's what I'm throwing out. If you want to drink breast milk and pay women for breast milk and all that shit and take the risk involved in that, that's your fucking business. But don't call it mother's milk. Oh. That was what was fucking with me. It wasn't the fact that people do this at all. Like, you know, I guess that there's like a morality thing where they're saying like there's not enough donated breast milk to cover like the amount of premature babies and adopted babies who need it. So like you are making a moral decision to take breast milk from babies, some might say. Whatever. I can't get into that part. I don't care. I do care, but I don't care. You know what I'm saying? What I do care about is that you're calling it mother's milk. That fucking grosses me out, and I don't know why, so stop it.
Yeah, that sounds disgusting.
It was this older man who was like, been drinking breast milk for 20 years now in his smoothies because he thinks that it's like, he says that it's keeping down his cancer. It made him cancer free.
Nope.
It's fucking fine, bro. But he says, I've been drinking mother's milk for 20 years. And there's no better health food than mother's milk. And I'm like, I don't know. It just gave me the heebie-jeebies in like the worst way. So I'm throwing out the term mother's milk.
Yeah, that's 100%. I'm with you.
Cool. What are you throwing out?
Mother's milk? No. I'm throwing out, I'm on a new medication and it makes me lose the sensation of carbonation.
What?
I didn't know that was a possible side effect. And I wrote, okay, I'm a garbage person and I don't drink coffee, but I do drink Monsters.
Oh boy.
Sugar-free Monsters. I have one in the morning. It's my pep up and go-go drink. And I wrote to Amazon and I was like, hey, these Monsters have all gone flat. Like I get like, you know, a case of them. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like these Monsters have gone flat. And so I wrote to Amazon and they were like, oh, we're so sorry. Here's a refund. Keep it. And then I get on a forum about this medicine and people are like, is anybody else losing the sensation of carbonation? And everyone's like, yes. And I was like, oh, I've made a huge mistake. I've got to get off this medicine because I love sparkling water. More than
medicine.
More than medicine. More than the medicine and what it's supposed to help me solve. So it erases the sensation of carbonation and it's so bizarre. And everything I drink tastes flat. And I thought that it was that my LaCroix and my Monsters had gone flat. And I was like, what the hell's happening? And it's the medicine.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
I'm throwing it the hell out.
Throwing out that medicine.
But I have to like wean myself off of it slowly, real slowly, or else I'll get seizures, is what they say.
Whoa.
It's rough, man. It's rough out here in these streets.
Jesus Christ. You should switch to mother's milk.
I should switch to mother's milk. Where can the people find you?
At Cass Cardenas on Instagram and Twitter. Also, a film that I was in called Violet, starring Olivia Munn, is now available. If you want to buy it on Amazon's or wherever you buy movies online, I think it's like $5.99. So if you want to go and see this movie, it's Justine Bateman's directorial debut. She wrote and directed it. I'm in it. So yeah, check out Violet. What are you Huh? How do the people find you? Sorry.
At iconic Erica Curry on Instagram, at Gillygal on Twitter.
Oh.
And if you sent me 1,000 followers on Instagram,
oh, right.
Fuck you. And why? Like, I got 1,000 followers overnight, and that messes up my like engagement score and my authenticity score as like an influencer. I hate to say that, but like,
so somebody bought followers and sent them to you as like a cruel thing.
Yes, I think so. Because there's no like weird. I don't know what the explanation is. Like I don't know how I suddenly got really popular in India and got 1,000 followers overnight.
That's so weird. Hey, what is this really long sense of numbers that you just sent me?
My friend code for Pikmin, Bloom.
Oh, cute. Okay.
So we can be friends. Anyway, it's so bizarre. It happened, and I hope that they fall off. I don't know what to do about it. It's the strangest thing. But if you could follow me authentically at iconic Erica Curry, I would appreciate it. You can follow this podcast authentically at Trashy Trashy Pod on Instagram and on Twitter. We're not on Meta.
No, we are not.
And we appreciate all of your listens, your patience with us last week. If you've left a review, thank you so much. If you could leave a 5-star review, it helps more people discover the podcast. We have, new countries that we're popping up in every week. And so we know that the podcast is growing, but leaving a 5-star review is the best way for more people to discover the podcast. Telling a friend is the best way to tell, for more people to discover the podcast. And we just truly appreciate it.
Yeah, we do. So thank you.
Hey, Cass.
What's going on, girl?
Stay garbage.
You stay garbage, girl.
I will. Bye-bye.
Bye.